And good afternoon. It's Tuesday, November the 15th, and I'm Jeff Whipple. It's time for Tech20 Tuesday again. And today we're going to take a look at coding. Coding is going to be really a big part of being literate in the 21st century. And we are in the 21st century. For our kids to sort of be active participants in all kinds of ways, whether that's going to be democratic, whether that's going to be literate. If they're going to participate in tomorrow's world, they're really going to have a basic understanding of coding, computer programming, call it what you wish. And so it's really important that we start to look towards these, especially for kids. There's going to be so many careers out there that are available. My son-in-law, or my stepson, I should say, is a computer programmer, and they just can't find enough people to fill those jobs. So whether they want to be a computer programmer and be into that, or even just understanding if they want to work in another field, but they're still going to have an understanding of coding and how it works in their lives. So today we're going to take a quick look at some of the coding platforms that are available for learning and teaching your kids how to code. And we're really going to focus on K-8. And we're going to start sort of at the low end, and we're going to take a look up. So this is Codable. It's one of my favorite ones. There's lots of them out there, and we're going to take a look at some others, but I really like Codable. And it can start at kindergarten, and you can work your way up. It's got both a free version and paid upgrades, so you can pay and get more options out of it. But really, even if you're just working with the free version, there's lots of really good stuff in here. So what Codable does, it's a platform that allows you to, you can use it either a web-based platform, so on a computer, or you can download an app to your mobile device, either one, and they interface the same way, because every kid in your class, once you set up your classes, then each of them will get a code, and it will keep a track of how far along they are, and it will give them increasingly more difficult challenges to figure out. So let's quickly, before we get into anything else, let's take a look at what we can do. So we've got the home button over here, and then we've got curriculum. So you'll notice here underneath curriculum, they actually have lessons for teachers to use. So lesson 1, and you can view the lesson plans. It gives you all kinds of support as you go through. So you don't really need to know and be a computer scientist or a computer programmer. This will walk you through it. So when we look at the lesson plans here, we'll open one up after it stops blinking at me. It gives you a video. And so the first one obviously is sequencing. And the idea of sequencing in computer software or computer programming or coding is that you need to have an order of things. And it's much like baking a cake. You need to do this first, and then this, and so there's a sequence to everything. So kids learn how to sequence their lessons. So, and it talks about different terminology to bring into the classroom with kids. Talks about algorithms, which might be a big word for kindergarten, but you can use others. So you can start here and talk about all the things that you need to do. For instance, how to make a peanut butter sandwich. So these are all things that you would do to make a peanut butter sandwich. And if you don't follow the steps, you don't get the sandwich at the end. And here's some vocabulary to bring in. And then it talks about, and then it gives you your actual lesson plan. And then what kids can do after you've done lesson 1 is they can actually go in, and you'll notice here that in your classes, and I've only got one class in here, it's called Whip's Wonders. And so you see here that I've just got them, their names are 1 to 18. I think I've got maybe 20 students in this class. And so you just go in and put their names in. I would encourage you just to use their first names or a portion of their first name and their last name, something like that. Don't give too much identification away. And then you'll notice that each one of these students gets their own code. So that's their playing code right there. You have a class code, and then each student has their own code. So I'm going to come in here underneath my students. What it will allow me to do too, I can print instructions for each each student, so they get their own sheet of paper with their own code on it. And so then they can go into Codable.com, log in as a student, or Codable app on an iPad, log in as a student. Either way, it'll see them as one of my students. And so you can create these class lists pretty easily. I'm going to now go in and just have a quick look at, and it tracks their progress. So I can go in and see where each kid is at and how far along they have and how successful they've been in mastering some of the different items in Codable. So I'm going to open up Codable and just play it for a second. You can see what it's going to look like. So I'm going. Oh, I forgot to get one of the kids' codes. What I need is 76K. There we go. So now I'm in here. I'm going to play Codable. That's the code that I want for that kid. Just going to copy it, and we're going to play. So I'm going to enter my student code, put it in there, and hit next. And so I've already played a little bit using this code. So it's going to bring me back to where I ended off. Not at the very start. It's going to bring me back to where I finished. Tells me I've finished 6 out of 165 levels. And so now I can continue on. And we're going to load the lessons. Right now we're on sequence sector. So you can see here that the idea is to start here and finish over here. And so what I'm going to do is drop these, and these are very elementary. These are for kindergarten, grade 1, maybe grade 2, just to start. The next one is going down because I've gone across. Now I want to go down. Now I want to go back to the right. So I'm going to grab this one, go down again, go back to the left, go up, and go back this way, and we're going to play it and see if I'm right. Now, I don't know if you guys could hear that. In my headphones, at least, I heard a lot of music, little dingy dogs, and when the kid when it finished successfully, you had a big cheer. There was lots of cool audio going along with that lesson as the kids were developing their things. So it's a pretty cool one. As I said, it gives you some basic lessons, and you can work this right up from K, I would say, to grade 5, pretty much anywhere in the elementary. And as I said, it's got free, and then as you get more advanced, it will give you additional lessons if you purchase the full version. So, but I think with the free version, you can at least get kids started and get them thinking about it. So that's Codable. As I said, platform both web-based or app-based on an iPad. So I want to look at code next. So code.org, if you just look here, you can see that it's code.org. Now code.org is a large organization, and when I come in to code.org, when I go here to teach, it's going to tell me that now I have some different options: elementary, middle, and high school. And we'll go to elementary just for the sake of going here and seeing what's here. So there's workshops for teachers. There's all kinds of different stuff in here. And then there are courses. So courses, course 1, ages 4 to 6. Course 2, ages 6+. This is really, course 1 is just for non-readers or very early readers. Once students can begin to read, they can jump into course 2 or even course 3. And we'll jump into course 2 right now. And so you can see in here that some of these are unplugged. So there's an unplugged activity that kids can do. So this is on graph paper programming, paper planes. This is maze, and so this is a plug. This is a computer-based activity, and I'm just going to come in here for a second and have a look. Now what you're going to see, this is programming platform using what we call block programming. So instead of all the words and the text that you would see normally from a computer programmer platform, this is using block programming. So what it's asking you to do, your idea here is to use the angry bird to catch the naughty pig. And we're very early in it, so what we're going to do is, and I've already been in here, so you can see here that I can run this. So I'm going to take these out of here. So what it wants me to do is start with the angry bird. When I hit run, which is here, I need it to move there and there. So we're going to move forward and move forward again because I need 2 blocks. Hit run. And there's the angry bird scream. Now, this is really interesting because the kids can see the block code, which they can understand. But if you want to see the actual code, that the gobbledygook that computer programmers understand, you can see here that it's really simple. Move forward, 2 parentheses, and a semicolon, and again, move forward. So it's done it twice. So kids can start to see that they can look under the hood and see what the language in JavaScript, which is a widely used computer programming language, would look like. So you can see that instead of putting all this text in, which a normal computer programmer would, they just can start to learn using blocks. So we're going to go to the second one. So you can see here now that he's facing this way. So we want to, when we run, we can try move forward 3 times. Don't know if it's going to work, but we'll soon find out. Run. And there we go. So you can see that they can look and see the code again. So now we're going to have to put a turn in. So I can move forward 3 times. I can turn right. I think I want to turn right. Move forward again. And let's see what happens. 1, 2, oh! So I ran into the TNT and got exploded. So what I did wrong was that I had too many move forwards in. So let's dump that, and now let's see what's going on. 1, 2, turn right and down, and I got the pig. So I can see all the code, and it keeps track of how many lines of code they've written. So you can see here how this is a very simple and easy platform for kids to learn how to do some basic coding. And it's really a game-based platform. It gets harder and harder as they go along, master more things. Talks about sequencing, which we've already talked about, but then it talks about if-then statements. So they begin to understand to make decisions and how they can build real code. So that's on code, and they've got a bunch of different courses in there that are really, and you could build a whole middle school or elementary school coding platform just on the Code Studio, and it's all free online. So in here, this is Scratch. Now Scratch is kind of the granddaddy of the coding world. It was of the elementary coding world, or the student coding world. It was developed at MIT, at the MIT Media Lab. And so what it allows students to do, every one of them can create their own account. So when they come in here, they would go create, and it's all Flash-based. Now, Scratch won't work on an iPad, so it's not app-based. You need to be on a computer, and you can see here that again, it's using all block programming. So you can create all kinds of video games in here. And so if I want to make the little cat here, the little sprite, which is for this one, it's the first sprite. There's a lot of different sprites or characters in here that you can come in and have a look at. So for me, I want to start with move 10 steps, turn, and I can change this to move 5 steps. We'll turn 180 degrees. It should turn us right around and come back the other way. And then we'll go back 10 steps. And let's make that 20. And then we can point in direction. So you can see here there's a lot of different things to do. You can put costumes on the sprite, and there are sounds that you can actually put in here as well. So there's a sound sprite. And so now when I hit the flag, which is the go, the little cat should go across 5 steps, turn right around, and come back 20 steps. Let's see if I did it right. Oh, I forgot something. Haha. Of course I did. So we need to start with the first tutorial, which is the event, and I need to put this in. So when the flag is clicked, we need to move. So you can see here there's control, sensing, operators. There's all kinds of different things in here, but it all has to start with a click. So let's start with this. So there, it went 5 steps, turned 180 degrees, went back 20. Didn't go very far, so now I could put in here, let's try 50 steps and back 200. See what happens. So it went very, very fast, but that's essentially what it did. So you can see here that it will go as fast or slow, and you can do all kinds of stuff in here. So what you can do is when you get into Scratch Junior, the neat thing about it is that there's lots of different games in here that other kids or other adults even have created. So you can see that there's a trapped game using the mouse or using the cat. There's all kinds of different cool stuff, a SpongeBob animation. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of games in here, thousands and tens of thousands of games. But they can come in. The neat thing about it is that each one of them allows you to see inside. So when I click on this, so I can come in here and I can actually look inside and see how this person coded it. Then what I can do as a student, I can grab it, take it away, and change it. So I can make it my own by working on other people's creations and using other content that's already in here to teach myself some of the things that they've done. So you can look and see what other people have done. Now, so that's Scratch. That's probably more of a middle school level. Then Scratch Junior is very simple. It's it's app-based only, so it's only for a mobile device, and it's really designed for kindergarten to grade 5. So if you were going to do some cool stuff and wanted to teach kids about Scratch, again, it's all really basic stuff, and they can work on Scratch Junior. Very quickly, because we're running out of time, Tinker, TYNKER.com has some great free stuff. Of course, they've also got some paid stuff, but you can come in here and there's some cool programming that kids can do in here that's very similar to, say, code.org or some of the other things. And then Made with Code, which is a Google product, allows you to have a look at some of the cool things that you can create. So an LED dress, and then here we're getting into coding for actual producing some stuff. And next week we'll have a look at that. So we'll be looking at coding inside of robotics platforms and some of those kinds of things. And then I'll post some items up on the website, some reading for you on some of the platforms that are available, or some ideas that are available to teach kids how to code. Even if you don't have computers in your classroom, there's some really cool activities. And so I'll be posting that up on Tech20Tuesday.wikispaces.com. Should be up there by tomorrow sometime, as well as an audio copy of the presentation from today. So that is Tech20 Tuesday for today. I'm around. If anybody has any questions, you can text me in here. If you're looking for help with coding in your classroom, you can lean on the ASDW Technology Lead Team. Up in Woodstock, it's Waylon Dixon. FEC in Fredericton and the south side of the river, so to Harvey and Macadam, and all the city schools on the south side, it's Carme Desjardins. I've got the north side, and that includes all the way up to Stanley, Boys Town, and Stanley, Boys Town, and Doketown. And in the Oromocto Education Center, Janice Shaw and Wendy Thomas are the keys there. And you can get a hold of them just by dropping them an email. You can find us in the global directory on your email list. So tech20tuesday.wikispaces.com is where I'll put the resources, and hopefully we'll see you all next week. We're going to have a look at some of the ideas around building robotics and how coding fits in that. So we'll be building on some of the ideas that we've had today. That is Tech 20 Tuesday for today. Glad to have you along, and we hope to see you again next week. If you have any questions, I will be staying around for a few minutes, and we can talk then either in the text chat room or just opening your mic. See you next week on Tech 20 Tuesday.